inside. Boston going to work. Scores off the backboard. 4 seconds to go. Boston to Hull. Left wing. Fires a three. Good! Hull heads with .3 to go in the third.
All right, Danielle, it is the end of the WNBA season, week 22 of the podcast here. And yeah, so the Aces in the first 7-game series ever sweep Phoenix in 4 games.
Yeah, that's crazy. I thought maybe Aces in 5. I didn't know if they were going to get the sweep, but it was nice to see. I don't mind it. And yeah, it's good for the season to be over, I think. It's been a messy, kind of brutal, painful season, so it's over. So that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be fully transparent here. I didn't watch a single game. I am frustrated with the state of the WNBA right now, even though I really want to see it succeed for the sake of the players. And I didn't want to give viewership numbers to Kathy Engelbert's WNBA, so I didn't watch. And somehow they still were claiming to set viewership records, which I want to talk about that in a little bit. But I know you watched a little bit of some of the games. What were your thoughts overall from a basketball point of view?
Yeah, I didn't watch much because I just don't enjoy Phoenix's style of basketball. I watched kind of caught up through like replays of the first half of yesterday's championship game and then watched the second half. But I mean, Vegas is just a better team, like in every way. The coach is better, the stars are better, and they've been together for a long time, so they kind of had the advantage in that. But um, like you had, I think it was in game one, Vegas didn't have a great game from Jackie or Asia, but Dana Evans goes off and hits 5 for 6 from three. And Jewel Lloyd had a really good final series. She didn't play well all year, but then she came alive in the finals, and she's actually undefeated in the finals. She's won 3 championships and swept every one of them. That's crazy.
Wow, that is
Um,
crazy.
the 2 in Seattle were sweeps also, so there's something about you kind of look at Vegas and you think that their core is getting older and they're not going to be able to have sustained success. But Chelsea Gray and Jewel Lloyd in the playoffs are very good. Um, and they might not quite have the same, pep in their step or shot making in the regular season, but they're still quite a force to be reckoned with in the regular season. Yeah, it was a little messy. Yesterday's game, the coach got ejected for Phoenix, and it's, I mean, pretty weak sauce from him to finally start complaining about the refs this series. And I saw something online that's like, this is the losers Kathy's been telling us about,
Yeah,
where only the
that's a
losers
great
complain
that's a
about
great
the
take.
officiating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is absolutely because when it's, AT playing bully ball and them winning games, he has nothing to say about it. But when Asia's getting a special whistle and when things aren't breaking their way, then he wants to complain about it. And he got tossed out of the game because he like ran way out, I think past half court to yell about a no call, I think. And then apparently he got teed up then, and then he got like right, like within an inch of the ref's face and was yelling at her and got a second tech and got tossed. And he said afterwards that that was the weakest, ejection he's ever seen and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's terrible. And I watched the replay of that or the highlight of it on ESPN.com, whatever you would call it. And I heard Rebecca Lobo saying he shouldn't have gotten tossed, but it was 100% the right call. I mean, you and I talked about this morning, and I said, well, it's an automatic tee for leaving the coach's box. I mean,
Hmm.
that should be automatically teed up. And then the camera angle didn't show it, but clearly he got so close to the ref that he got out of the camera angle, right? I mean, you couldn't see
Yeah.
him anymore even. It's like, yeah, you get a second tee for getting right up. You don't get it right up
No.
into the ref's face and think you don't get a tee.
If you get a
If,
tech,
well, let me just
usually they
finish the
let you
thought here
yell for
real
a little
quick.
bit longer, but you walk back to your bench and you yell at them from your
That's
bench. You
right.
can't get closer to them and keep
Yeah,
yelling.
and usually the assistants are holding you back, right? And or at
Mhm.
least and you're fake going towards the referee, and the assistants are fake holding you back,
Right.
But I mean, you can't get up in the referee's face and complain about a technical. I mean, that was
No.
to me that was like one of the best officiating calls in the WNBA all
Yeah.
year. I
She was
mean, it was
decisive.
clear.
Yeah. She's like, you're out of
Maybe the
here.
only good officiating call all year. But
Yeah.
it's like
You
a
can't.
T for coming out of the box and a T for getting in the ref's face like that. That's and then two T's is he just got ejected for getting two technicals. I
Exactly.
mean, that's just by the rule. You're out of the game
Yeah.
for a second technical. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
thought it
You
was very good
can't.
officiating, and I didn't understand Rebecca Lobo's take on it.
No, it sounded like Rebecca and Ryan are the best, but it did sound like they were rooting for a longer series, which is
Yeah,
obviously good for the networks if there's more
right.
games.
Yeah, they are the best, and but that was a bad take by Rebecca.
Yeah, for
Sorry,
sure.
Rebecca, if
But
you're
yeah,
watching.
it's you don't usually refs will let coaches blow off some more steam after they tee them up and let them kind of keep screaming, but you don't get to escalate it further once you get a tech.
Yeah, that's what I said. The coach gets held back by the
Yeah.
assistants, and they're not out of the coach's box on the court in the ref's face when they're doing that. Yeah, they
Yeah.
give you the
So that's maybe
T.
on the assistants there to not, but he
Yeah,
ran out, he
maybe the
got out there
assist.
pretty quick.
He did. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I thought that was very good officiating actually
Yeah.
by that official to toss him. And I will say, I did, having not watched much of the games at all, I was cheering for the Aces just because of Jackie Young being from Princeton. It's
Yeah.
like if I'm going to cheer for anybody, it's for Jackie. So I'm happy for Jackie that she got her third WNBA championship. And,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I mean, they're skilled, really. Like Asia's obviously so
yeah.
skilled. Jackie's amazing. So you can't hate that for sure. A couple of things that were interesting. One is that Vegas was throwing some junk defense at Phoenix, and that was pretty interesting. They won the first two games, even though and in game one, Alyssa Thomas had two free throws to get the lead in like the last possession and misses both.
Mm,
So then Jackie gets fouled on the other end and makes both free throws to win the game.
mm,
Um, so like that's kind of a significant thing, and where it's like AT really is kind of a liability in the postseason just with her shooting ability. There was another game, it was game three, where game two was a pretty big win for Vegas. It wasn't really
right.
close.
Didn't Jackie score over 30 and Asia scored over
hmm
30 in that game? Yeah.
Yeah. Jackie had 21 in the third quarter alone. So, um, but yeah, but game three was also very close and it came down to a possession game. But at the very last, so Asia on the one end, they have 5 seconds left. They call a timeout. They kind of run some fake action just to maybe force AT. And they weren't even having Thomas defend Wilson, which was weird also. Like if
Mm.
she's really, one of the best players, she needs to be able to guard. The best player. So it was Bonner on Wilson. Um,
Bonner.
yeah.
Oh my golly, did Las Vegas just attack that?
Well, I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, Asia had a very good series. They wouldn't, and then they have Kalani Brown, and they didn't play her until Sabally went out with the injury in game three and was unavailable for game four. They didn't play Kalani
Ah,
Brown a second until game four. And then they had her guard Asia, and it's like, all right, 0 minutes to now guard the MVP.
wow.
Um,
Well, who's their
but
starting center? What's her name?
Mac,
Mac. Yeah, why wasn't she was not guarding Asia for the
she was
series?
playing like she played 7 minutes last night. It's so
Because I
weird.
thought she had some good minutes against
She's
Minnesota.
athletic and long,
Yeah,
yeah.
why would you not have her on Asia?
I don't get
Weird
it.
coaching. Wow.
Very
Well,
weird. But so on the one end you have get the ball to Asia. Asia makes a tough shot where AT comes over, doubles her. It's her and Bonner. Clean. She maybe got fouled, pushed by Bonner, but then by the time she's taking the shot, it's pretty clean defense. But she
mm,
makes a tough shot, um, and gets the lead. And then they call timeout. There's like point 0.3 on the clock, enough to catch and shoot or tip maybe. I don't know. Can you catch and shoot with point 0.3? I think
I think
point
you
0.3
only
is where you
tip with
can.
point three.
Okay.
I think
But
that's where
it's
that point three is where you can only tip, I think.
which
But
yeah, to me, I'm getting the ball to Kalia Copper
right,
at the rim. If you
right.
have point 0.3, she's so athletic. That would be my play, but instead it's Alyssa Thomas inbounding because she can't make a shot. She can't be the player who's going to make a shot for you. So she's
Right.
inbounding it. They have Bonner posting up. Who did it end up being? Jackie, Jewel, someone, like 10 feet away from the basket. She has her back to the basket, catches it, and kind of throws it up. And actually she touched rim. She got it decently close, but misses. But that's
Mm.
just to me like really quite a difference between the two teams that for Vegas, you have a player like Asia who's going to get you a bucket and
Yeah.
can make those big shots. And on the other end, like, why is Duana Bonner getting that shot? Like you're
Yeah.
down two and you're getting it to Bonner with her back to the basket, 12 feet from the bucket or whatever, instead of going to Copper. You could have tried to go honestly, I would go to Sammy Whitcomb for a three to try to win it. You don't want to
Mm.
go to overtime. So that was something. And then like the junk defense Vegas played was interesting. They did a box and one on Copper to start game three and
Mm.
just didn't even pay attention to AT.
Mm.
Like let her be out at the top of the 3-point line with the ball and trying to direct traffic, but zero attention, just kind of guarding everyone else. And Copper has a defender on her, and AT goes and like takes a little pull-up jumper, and that's not her
Mm.
shot at all, and she misses
Right.
it. And so I feel like they really neutralized Alyssa. I mean, Alyssa Thomas still got decent numbers, but um, yeah, just I felt like outcoached. They did a triangle and two at some point, so
Mm.
just doing different things to even like when they were up and they had the series lead. Like you would think that Phoenix would be the one throwing different things out and
Making
trying to
adjustments and
make
yeah.
adjustments, but it was Vegas like always a step ahead of them, it felt like.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
Vegas is a little bit messy as an organization. They do some questionable things, but Becky's undeniably great, and Asia and Jackie and crew are undeniably great also.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I love me some junk defenses. When I coached,
Mhm.
I always loved throwing a triangle and two. That's my favorite junk defense. Because usually I find that, you know, we've talked about this. If a team has three good offensive players, it's really hard to guard. But if the team just has two good offensive players, you can throw a triangle of two at them and really mess them up. But yeah, box and one. I mean, that's good. I think that's great. Just messing things up and making teams think and try to have to react to different defenses is really smart. I don't know why teams don't do that. Yeah, I often talk about like on last second when teams come out of a timeout, they to set up a final play, like switch to a trapping zone, like a 1-3-1 half court trap, and just
Hmm.
they've drawn up something against a man-to-man defense, and why not just do something? If they throw it in, think of that famous play where Caitlin Clark hit that last second shot against IU, famous in our household anyway.
Infamous.
But what if you just threw a trapping zone there so that Caitlin doesn't get a clean look at the basket, right? I mean, just do mix things up so that teams don't get easy looks. So I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So we've often said, I know you mentioned you wanted to have a little bit of a take on Alyssa Thomas, that she's a really good player who knows how good could be without the shoulder situation, right?
Right.
But we feel like she's just not going to be ever good enough to be the best player on a championship team. And you had some thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, so she was drafted in 2014. She's made the playoffs every year since 2017. She's made the semifinals every year since I think semifinals are better every year since 2019, I think. And in 2019, she lost in the finals to Elena Delle Donne's Washington team. And Delle Donne had like a back injury. She had like herniated discs going on in her back and still was able to win. Um, and that was a good Connecticut team. They had Courtney Williams, they had Jonquel Jones, they had Brianna Jones, they had Jasmine Thomas, they had Heidemann, they had Rachel Bannum, they had Morgan Tuck. Um, then the next couple years go by, they make the semifinals, don't make it any further. But then in 2022, they make it to the finals again against Vegas. And this time they had Bonner, they had Dejanay Carrington, they still had Jonquel, they still had Brianna Jones, they had Heidemann still, they had Odyssey Sims on that team. Um, and so they lose to Vegas in 2022 and now losing to Vegas again in 2025. And she just isn't good enough. Like pretty much at this point, any team she's on is making the semifinals. So
Yeah.
like
I
she's
think
not
you
gonna
said it well, that she's what, a floor raiser, but not a ceiling raiser, I think is what
right.
you said. And that's true. And, something I would point out too, and maybe this isn't 100% fair, but, historically, like making the semifinals isn't that hard of a task in the WNBA. And you have
Yeah.
12, it's been a 12-team league. and the 8 out of 12 teams make the playoffs.
You
And
just
then
got to win one series.
you have to win one series and you're in the semi. You win
Actually,
two
and at some
games.
point they had buys, and you didn't even have to make win a
But
series
I
to get to
mean,
the semifinals.
like worst case, you win two games and you're in the semifinals, right? So
One at some point. It was one and done for a while. Yeah.
wow. Yeah. So it's not like making the semifinals sounds like, oh, wow, in the semifinals every year, but it's
Right.
really not that
Yeah.
great of accomplishment in a 12-team league where you have to win one or two games to make the semifinals and the
Yeah,
playoffs.
that's
It's,
fair. Or sometimes not. I think they had a buy for a while, so
but I
yeah.
mean, if you have a bye, maybe you earned, maybe you're a top
Sure.
two seed and you earned it. But, I mean, I'm just like, it's getting tougher with the season's getting long. It's going to become a bigger accomplishment with,
Sure.
I
More
think the
teams.
talent, there's more talent getting in the league now, and we're going to be more teams and more interest in women's basketball, and it's growing. But I would say historically, because of this the way the league and this playoffs have been structured, getting to the semifinals isn't as great of an accomplishment as maybe it sounds.
Yeah,
Getting to the
that's
finals
fair.
and winning is a great accomplishment, but
Yeah. But I
yeah.
think at this point, and like she's now 0-3 in the finals, and I think that's enough data to say that she's not good enough to. And even in 22, she was on a team with an MVP in Jonquel Jones and still wasn't able to win.
Yeah.
So I think there's enough evidence to say that she's just not that. And that's nothing. That's not a knock on her. Like I heard a comparison of her to Draymond Green, and I think that's a pretty good comparison.
Mm,
Kind of like a tough bully who's a pretty good passer and a smart, high
that
IQ.
is a good comparison, yeah.
But you would never think Draymond's going to lead Golden State to a championship without Steph or Clay, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. Draymond's
Like
not
it's
good enough to be the best player in a championship team either,
no,
but he's
he's
gonna be in the Hall of Fame.
exactly. So I
Yeah.
wish for AT, I feel bad for her because I feel like people have led her to believe that she is good enough to do it, and she's just not. And there's nothing wrong with not being like I think at this point it's what Stewie, Asia, Nafisa. Those are the only three I think we know for sure are good enough.
Yeah.
Maybe Caitlin is.
We
Um,
don't know that yet, but
we don't know
the
that yet. Maybe
potential's
Kelsey
there.
is. Maybe Boston is. So like things are looking pretty good for Indiana, but
Yeah.
I think we know now that Alyssa's not, and I wish that someone would communicate that to her and that she could accept that. And to me, if I am Phoenix, it's not Alyssa Thomas's team, it's Kalia Copper's team.
Mm.
Like,
It's the Angel Reese syndrome too here, right? Going on that.
yeah,
I mean, Angel Reese is not, I don't think she's going to be the best player on a championship team ever,
no, no.
but she's a really good player and she contributes a lot on the court. And you just have to figure out that role and play it and you're not going to win a championship in professional basketball without having a great player. And,
Yeah. And
you see that.
understanding your role, like you see like with Minnesota, I think if you take away Nafisa, they have a lot of players who are like probably barely good enough to be starting on a championship caliber team, but like they all
Mm,
understand their role, they play well together. I mean, they haven't won a championship yet, but they certainly have the talent and ability to.
yeah.
So yeah, I wish that people would stop talking about her like she's
Mm,
an MVP candidate just because she gets all these triple doubles. She almost got a quadruple double in the yesterday's game. She got 9 turnovers. And I feel like if Caitlin ever does that and loses a championship with 9 turnovers, she would never hear the end of it. But
yeah.
for whatever reason, AT gets like this exemption for her faults.
Mm,
And yeah, I mean, she's good, but yeah, she can't, she's not good enough to win.
yeah.
Copper might be, or at least you could see her carrying, like maybe they get a little lucky and Copper has, and she did play pretty well in the finals, but like Alyssa Thomas is not.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Vegas wins. Congratulations to them. And way to go, Jackie, representing the Hoosier State well.
Yeah.
So we said we wanted to talk a little bit about the WNBA awards now. I think most of them, or maybe all of them, have come out finally, or were
Yeah.
they holding off
I
on
think they
giving
I
any
think they've all
awards to
come out.
Nafisa? But so, MVP was Asia. We thought it should have been Fee, but like you said, you can't really argue with Asia being
Yeah, it's
picked as
not a
MVP.
wrong answer for
That's
sure.
not a wrong
But
answer. Rookie of the Year, Paige. That was in a landslide and
yeah.
well deserved. We're big Paige Beckers fans and glad to see that. Hopefully, living here in the DFW area, hopefully Dallas can be a little better next year. Um, we can talk about that in another podcast. We could go down that rabbit hole a little bit with what they're going to do with their coaching search. But um, most improved player was Veronica Burton. I think that's a good choice, actually. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know. I mean, she,
I don't have a problem with it. She had a
yeah,
much bigger role and she did pretty well with it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, she was good. I mean, if Thornton had stayed healthy, I think she would have deserved to win it. I mean, she was
yeah,
the most improved player,
that's true.
I think, in the time that she, you know, got injured pretty early in the season and missed a lot. Sixth player of the year. There's a little controversy there. I mean, come on.
I think so because she was like Naz Hillman had a great season, but she was functionally starting. They realized pretty early Brittany Griner and Bree Jones doesn't work
Yeah,
together.
that was good coaching. I
Mhm.
thought. I thought it was weird roster construction, but they made a good adjustment as the season went on.
Yeah.
And
And
they,
as long as Griner was okay with that, I mean, it seemed to work okay for them.
yeah,
But yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like the last 15, 20 games she was starting, so it just she wasn't, and even when she wasn't starting, like she was playing starter level minutes, so it's a little
yeah,
bit
she
of
wasn't.
semantics.
It is,
And
yeah.
like I
That,
hate that it's like, oh, Nafisa doesn't get MVP because she missed 11 games with injury, but Naz can get um sixth player of the year, even though she like started, you know,
yeah,
40% of the games or whatever it was.
yeah,
To me, Heidemann probably deserves sixth player of the year, and she's like a true kind of sixth player that comes off, gives you energy, and isn't just six, a name only or by a technicality.
yeah. I think that would have been a better call. Um, then maybe Nas could have been a better higher up on the most
Most
improved player
improved,
list.
or Nas could have been
Yeah,
most improved, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Defensive player, a little controversial.
Controversial, I mean, honestly, Vegas's defense was so bad. I think they were the eighth best defense in a 13-player league. I think they had the eighth best defense. Like, I get it, it's Asia, but Minnesota had the best defense.
Yeah,
So,
at least Alana Smith got co-defensive
yeah.
player of the year. So coach of the year, you called it. It was Natalie Nakasi. I was for Cheryl Reeve, and but you called it right. So
Yeah.
well
I mean, she
deserved.
exceeded expectations, and it's kind of Cheryl probably gets like a little bit of just, she's been there, done that, and people are bored of
Voter
voter
fatigue.
fatigue a little.
Yeah.
Although
Um,
Asia doesn't, the voters don't get fatigued.
nah, evidently not, and the officials don't get tired of blowing their whistle for her
No. Oh,
either.
yeah. She shot 102 free throws in 12 games in the postseason and was complaining about AB complaining about her special whistle. So, and then
Yeah.
Aaliyah Boston shot 25 free throws in the 8 games in the postseason. So she averaged about three a game, and Asia averaged nine plus. So.
Wow.
I'm just saying, if we can get half of Asia's whistle for AB next year, it's over for everyone.
Yeah. Well, we'll see about that. Yeah. That would be great. So then I didn't jot down the all defensive
Yeah,
teams.
I
Do you have
have
that
it.
handy?
Yeah. So the first team, Nafisa, Alana Smith, Alyssa Thomas, Gabby Williams, Asia Wilson. That's good. And I'm glad to see Gabby get that recognition.
Yeah.
Um, and you can't really, I mean, Alyssa Thomas, like so much of her defense is just being stronger than people and pushing them. So, I mean, I don't love that, but it is
Right.
effective and
It
it
is
got them to the
effective.
finals.
Yeah.
The second team was Aaliyah Boston, which I like to see. And I
Yeah.
think just for the way she guard, I mean, I know the votes are cast before the postseason, I think, but just the way she guarded Asia, I think alone kind of deserves
Mhm.
second team consideration. Veronica Burton, Ryan Howard, Ezzy Magbagor, and Brianna Stewart. To me,
Where's Jackie Young?
exactly. She gets no respect. It's crazy. Like, I think I put in our family chat, if you have this list of players and you add Jackie Young to the list and you have to guard like a shooter like Caitlin Clark or Kayla McBride, who who are you putting on her? Like to
Yeah.
me, I'd take Jackie all day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she's because she's so strong, she
You're
can
talking about the
switch.
second team?
Um, I mean,
You can put
I'm
Gabby on.
biased. I would take Alyssa off and put Jackie on first team, but she at least deserves second team.
Yeah, she should be a second team for sure. Ryan
And I
Howard, I
don't,
don't.
Ryan Howard, I think
She is
Ryan must
not
have
a.
had a lot of steals, but
Ryan Howard's the kind of player who just Yeah, maybe she gets some blocks because she's long and athletic and some
Yeah.
steals, but she's not a good, solid, fundamental defensive player
No.
who
If
she's
Jackie
not.
Young was on that team, Jackie Young would have the assignment on Clark. If
Yeah,
Veronica Burton was on the team, Veronica would have the assignment on Clark over Howard.
yeah, yeah. So that
Essie's
was
a
not
good,
great. But the first team
yeah.
was
The
first team
first
was
team was
solid,
good.
except yeah. So then all WNBA first
Hmm.
team is what we thought it would be.
Hmm.
We got
It was the MVP candidates, which is pretty lame that they announced that before first team. Like it's kind of a spoiler. It seems like it should go from least to
yeah,
most. Like MVP should be the last one, don't you feel like? But
100%. Yeah, I don't understand the order of their.
yeah, and
I
they're
mean,
like, oh, and
again,
this is
just
the other people, this other top five, and
right.
who's going to be on first team? Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, again, just an example of how poorly run the organization is.
Exactly.
I don't
But shout
understand.
out to Kelsey Mitchell. She
Yes.
got fewer votes than Alicia Gray, which to me is a little questionable. Um, but just fantastic season. And then Boston um, made second team. And so this
Yeah,
is
that
the
was great.
first time in like a decade and a half that Indiana's had two all W players. And Caitlin was first team last year. So if they get those three back, watch out.
Yeah, yeah, they should be tough. And Paige made second team. We were glad to see
Mhm.
that. As
NECA did, which I mean, you can't really complain about that, but Seattle was so inconsistent. I don't know. Sabrina made it. I don't know. I feel like Sabrina and New York were pretty inconsistent this year too.
I've always I feel like Sabrina's overrated. I mean, I've said that. I mean, she's good, but she's just like a streaky shooter
Mhm.
who when she's on, I mean, look out. She can score, 15 points in a minute and a half or something. I mean, she can hit deep threes but she's so inconsistent. I mean, I don't know, maybe she had good numbers this year. I was glad to see Jackie made second team.
Yeah, she at least
So,
got. I Vegas is really good at like um getting attention for Asia to get votes for all the things. I feel like they need to put a little effort into Jackie getting something bigger next year because man, Jackie does a great job, and like they would not have won any of their championships without Jackie. So
yeah,
I
well,
hope she
maybe
gets a
we
little
can
more
get her
respect.
on come back home to Indiana for next year as a free agent. That would be
I don't know. There
a
was a
pickup.
quote. ESPN had an article, and there was a quote or something. Apparently, Bill Lambier told Asia and Jackie that they're a team forever and they can't ever leave each other.
Well, yeah. I guess Bill Lambier says that maybe you better do it because he used to beat up people in the NBA. So,
Right.
well, I hope not. I would like to see Jackie come back, but that's another topic for another day, maybe. Free
Um,
agents, once we
yeah.
get everything sorted. Anything else on the WNBA awards?
Not awards, but ESPN, of course, did a way too early power rankings for next year, and it's just ridiculous. Like, one, I know the title is way too early, but literally everyone's a free agent. So how are you
Right.
even making, based on what are you even making
Yeah.
these predictions? Like everyone
Right.
coming back? But the rankings were crazy. They go Vegas number one, which fair enough.
Right.
Then they go Phoenix two, and then they go Atlanta three.
Oh my.
And then they go Minnesota 4, Indiana 5, and New York 6.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's bad. I mean, do the ESPN writers about the WNBA even watch the games? Sometimes I
I don't
wonder
think
based on what
so.
they say. It
I
doesn't
think they
seem
just
like
look
it.
at stats and results.
Yeah, it
I
sure
don't
seems
think
like they
so.
don't watch the games.
But even so, how would you pick Atlanta as 3 next year? They got bounced in the first round by the Hospital Indiana squad.
Yeah,
I mean, to me, it's vague. I think you have to put Vegas
you
at
have to
1.
yeah, you have to.
And then you can, to me, it's Minnesota or Indiana at 2.
I mean, it could be New York. I mean, I could argue for New York. I mean, if
Yeah, so those are the 4, though.
yeah, yeah, those are the four.
Indiana, Minnesota, New York, in some order after that. And
Yeah.
I think Indiana is not 4.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if everybody's healthy, it doesn't seem like they should be, but I mean, you can make an argument for those four teams. I mean, I think those are the four. And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, all right. Well, we wanted to I kind of sprung this on you last minute, um, since we are going to talk about the WNBA awards, just making up some fake WNBA awards. This will be the first time we're doing it, and maybe we'll get better at this in the future. But just some fake WNBA awards I threw at you at the last minute. Um,
Hmm.
that I just made up. Press conference of the year. I have my two finalists: Cheryl Reeve,
Hmm.
after the her getting kicked out of that was it game three or game
Hmm.
four, um, or Nafisa's press conference. Who do you have for press conference of the year?
You have to go for Nafisa, but I mean, Cheryl, honorable mention for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's the right order. I mean, Nafisa, wow. I mean, that's press conference of the century, maybe. Not just like that's a Hall of Fame press conference. So, but Cheryl Reeve, I mean, I loved that. She,
Yeah.
I loved her press conference too. So strong runner up. I mean, a strong runner up for Cheryl there. Then I asked you about play of the year. I had one in mind, but if you had to vote for a play of the year in the WNBA?
I think I mentioned, and we changed our little intro to this play was the Atlanta series where I think it's game two, where right at the end of the third quarter, there's like 10 seconds left. AB gets a bucket, then Shea Petty gets the tip, Kelsey gets the steal. They swing to Boston, over to Lexi for a three, 5 points in 10 seconds, and like just kill Atlanta any chance of really winning that game and are able to take the series ultimately and go on to the semifinals. So that was just like a huge moment. And yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah, that's a great choice. And just looking from a purely basketball point of view, I looked at it from a bigger picture point of view, and just the overall impact of Sophie Cunningham taking down JC Sheldon and somebody finally standing up protecting Caitlin. Just the social media impact it had, the attention that it brought to Sophie, and I think she had a her podcast options. I mean, all kinds of things opened up. She became
Yeah.
super popular with Indiana Fever fans.
Oh yeah, we were
Who,
when we were at the game in July, all the Sophie jerseys were sold out.
yeah, I mean, so I had as the play of the year, Sophie taking down JC. Well deserved. JC Sheldon needed to be taken down a
And a
notch.
part of the larger refing conversation about
Right.
like the refs allowing games to get out of control and just
Exactly.
being negligent.
Yeah. Which segues into our the next fake award I wanted to give out was worst call of the year. Um, I've had one in mind. I know I sprung this on you last minute. I don't know if you had one in particular.
It's pretty hard to pick. I mean, there's so many. There's a lot where it's like there's literally zero contact and they called something just because someone flopped. I think so many of Aaliyah's fouls in game five were really bad, and it's just because Asia came out and complained that Aaliyah says that she has a special whistle when she obviously does. But multiple of her last three, especially, were just really bad calls and so impactful in a semifinal situation to have like Jackie and AB going for a rebound and AB gets called for the foul because Jackie like pretends to fall back and Jackie's like the strongest guard in the league, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, in honor of the worst call last year, we weren't doing a podcast last year. The worst call of the year with Alana Smith being called for a foul after a review, and then they said, well, she wasn't in legal guarding position,
Mhm.
which she was in legal guarding position, and there was no contact.
Right.
Like, worst call of the year. Maybe that's worst call of the century. I mean, just makes you question everything about the integrity of the WNBA
Mhm.
with that
Especially when
call.
Kathy has her New York dress on.
Right. I mean, it's just so many things about that call. But in honor of that call, since we didn't have the podcast last year, I went with the when Jewel Lloyd ran through the Lexi Hull screen and like the I think it was Kelsey Mitchell. Like Kelsey Mitchell was gone, and whoever's guarding Lexi had already switched onto Kelsey Mitchell. What Jewel the basketball plays, you just switch onto Lexi. You don't run through the screen. And she just lowered her shoulder, ran through and extended her arms, and they reviewed it. So this is in honor of Alana Smith not getting the call last year or getting the call against her, and they reviewed it and didn't upgrade it. I mean,
Right.
it's one thing to make a bad call in the heat of the moment, but then to review it and say, no, that's just a common basketball play. Players always just lower their shoulders and run through.
On Lexi, they do though, so.
But I mean, that I just thought, there may have been more egregious calls, but it just drives me crazy when they
But
miss a
that,
review.
yeah. And that was game five.
It was game
And Indiana, it
five.
went to overtime.
It went to
Like literally,
overtime.
that was the game.
I mean, you could point out a couple of things like that, but literally a reviewed call not getting upgraded would have given Indiana a free throw. I mean, they already had the ball anyway. They kept the ball possession, but yeah, potentially a game-changing bad call on a
Championship,
review.
it could be the
Yeah.
championship changing. I mean, Vegas
Yeah.
doesn't make it to the finals, and
Right.
there's a
Yeah.
whole
So
different champion.
just drives me crazy when if they need somebody else to do the reviewing, not the on-court officials.
Yeah,
So there's another piece of off-season discussion. So
yeah,
I
we'll
had
do it.
one other category, um, and just commissioner of the year. And usually, this would be a landslide for Kathy Engelbert since she's the only WNBA commissioner. But I wanted to give an award to Adam Silver for WNBA Commissioner of the Year because it seems like the players like him more than they like Kathy, and it seems like he likes the WNBA players more than Kathy likes the WNBA players.
Yeah, it's messy, but Kathy got booed pretty bad yesterday when she had to go give out the championship and MVP award. Um, and yeah, it's just a messy situation. I can't see her staying in the job. I would guess they're gonna get through the CBA, and then replace her because it's pretty hard last minute, I would assume, to bring someone totally new into that situation.
I mean, it feels like, I mean, Adam Silver has come out and started making comments now about the CBA and about the negotiations. It feels like he's going to start getting hands-on to me. That's kind of my interpretation of him making these public comments that he's going to get a little hands-on with, because
But
the
to some
NBA
degree,
partially owns the league, right? I
oh,
mean,
they own a ton of it. But
yeah,
and so, I mean, he appointed Kathy, so and she answers to him. It's a very messy
it's,
ownership structure. So it's also his fault, but he does have a better relationship with the players, it
well, how
seems
many,
like.
you sent some, I think, quotes from players talking about how, oh, Adam Silver reached out to me in this situation. I never heard from Kathy. Adam Silver said, hey,
Yeah, Candace
anytime.
Parker was
Oh,
saying,
it's Candace Parker. That's
yeah,
right.
and I mean that's like a legend, like top
Oh,
10 all time, like one of the greatest ever to do it. She said that like when she retired, Adam reached out to her and she didn't hear anything from Kathy until she saw her in person at like the All-Star game months later, and she said congratulations in person, but like when she got a gig like calling games for Amazon, he reached out, and when she had her third child, he reached out and like just kind of normal, like keeping in touch, having, and she's like, whether or not it's the office or him, there's like intention to care and like be invested in the players. And she's like, maybe he's not aware that that hasn't been happening with Kathy, but now he is.
yeah. Yeah. So WNBA Commissioner of the Year, congratulations, Adam Silver. You're the players seem to like you and you seem to like them, and that's more than we can say about Kathy for sure at this point. So all right, then we kind of created a maybe partway through the season what were they thinking segment or just discuss bad calls or bad decisions or questionable things going on in the WNBA. So we thought maybe we needed to kind of reflect back on some bad takes we had. And so, what were we thinking? Uh, this is going to be, yeah, well, kind of a reflection on what were we thinking when we said Melissa Smith was a bad pickup. Looks like that was a
Yeah,
bad take by us.
I think so. It looks, I mean, obviously Vegas won, and they didn't need someone great, right? You have Asia Wilson,
Well,
you
they
have
had
Jack,
four Olympians, right?
or Olympians. You just needed someone who could come in, defend a little, rebound a little,
And score a
score,
little, be a
try
little
to
bit of a scoring
score
threat.
a little bit, take a couple shots, more than Kia Stokes, is all they needed. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, Melissa Smith was able to be that player, and good for her.
Yeah. So, yeah, we missed on that one. And I don't know, we may disagree on this one. We had a Indiana won the off season. We actually tied that was the title of one of our first podcasts, and I would say that what were we thinking because of what ended up happening with Dewana Bonner? That just was a whew. And Howard ended up being a great addition. I love her as
And
an Indiana
Sophie,
Fever player, and Sophie, yeah. I mean,
re-signing
they did
Kelsey.
they did a lot of great things, but the Dewana Bonner signing kind of messed up uh, Indiana, and yeah, I don't know what they were thinking, what she was thinking. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
she
a,
was thinking is a little bit more the
maybe that's more
question,
fair. What was she
but
thinking?
but it just didn't work out. But and I mean then the mid-season signings were really, really well handled.
Yeah, Indiana won the in season. We could change the title
Yeah,
of that podcast, maybe go back in
yeah.
history, do some revisionist history here. They did a great job. I mean, the front office did a great job keeping that team afloat, signing players who all came in and
Mhm.
contributed, and
hmm
it was
And just had like a good experience. You watched the exit interviews, and like everyone was just happy there and had a good experience. And some of that is like hardship does definitely bond you. Like they went through so many
sure.
struggles, but it sounds like everyone
Yeah, it sounds
else
like
was very
everyone else
happy.
except Dewana loved the Indiana Fever team, so makes you wonder who was the problem there. I don't think it was the Indiana
Right.
Fever
When
locker room.
16 players say one thing and one says another. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I think I had to take in August, somewhere along the line in the Las Vegas's winning streak, saying, is it real or not? Because when you looked at it more closely, they were barely beating the good teams they were playing,
hmm
and a lot of their games were against the bottom
It was
half of
a
the WNBA.
favorable schedule for sure.
They got in a favorable stretch. So I said, is it real or not? And I said, no, I don't think it's real. And ended up it was pretty real, but on the other
They
hand,
struggled.
they struggled to get by Indiana.
They barely got by Seattle. So
Yeah, I mean, so I don't.
sometimes sometimes winning championships is just about having the right breaks happen at the right time and being healthy because I don't think they had anyone on their injury list.
Yeah,
And yeah, sometimes that's just what it comes down to is being healthy and
yeah,
kind of peaking at the right time.
yeah. I mean, I don't even think they were. They're not a historically great team this year. I mean, they've got.
Yeah.
They just really there were better teams. I think in the W like a healthy New York or a healthy Minnesota were both better teams, and evidently a healthy Indiana was a better team than them
Yeah.
too.
I
I
mean, they
mean,
were
Las
starting
Vegas got
Kirsten
very.
Bell. They were starting
Uh,
Kirsten Bell.
yeah, I mean, Las Vegas was, they won the championship, but I mean, this is not like a historically great WNBA team. It was just a, a team that, Nafisa got injured and knocked out. Caitlin Clark was out. They got a pretty favorable draw and got some breaks, but yeah.
Right? Like they should have
So
been playing Atlanta, not Indiana, because Indiana upset Atlanta, and I don't know which matchup would have been harder for them, but yeah, they
yeah,
a lot of times the team that wins is the team that gets some lucky breaks along the way.
yeah, yeah. So I was wrong. I said, they ended up winning. So congratulations to them, and I'll eat crow on that. I'll take the L on that one. So I've got my UConn shirt on from this spring when UConn won the national championship. My attention has shifted to
hmm
college basketball now, but I think there'll be stuff for us to talk about, Danielle, with the collective bargaining agreement, the expansion draft, what's going to happen, free agency. There's still going to be a lot to talk about, actually more than, and maybe the WNBA likes it, and there's no such thing as bad publicity, but there will be a lot to talk about. But I think we'll probably start shifting our focus in the coming weeks to talking more about college basketball. And just so the planning for us we'll be talking primarily about UConn and IU women's teams with some we may sprinkle in some IU men's basketball depending on what happens with them. They kind of had a total roster turnover.
hmm
Almost like the IU women did as well. But
Yeah,
UConn is going to be great this year, and
they're
I
gonna
mean I
be so
can't
good.
wait to watch them play.
Yeah, they're gonna be amazing. Most of the play, I mean, obviously Paige is a massive loss and you can't reproduce that, but you have KK, who's been coming off the bench, or starting. Gina loves starting 1,000 guards, so but like she's gonna do a really good job at point guard. You have AZ who's healthy, Ashlyn Shade, Sarah Strong,
Sarah
who's gonna be
Strong could be the
better
best player in
somehow.
the country. I mean, it's
And as a
AZ
soft,
and they may have the two best players in the country,
I
arguably,
think
with
they
Juju
do.
injured.
I
I mean,
think they do.
Betts, most people, Betts would be up there. It would be the third candidate for it, right? I mean, it's those three are probably the three best players in the country. So they got worst case, they got the second and third best players, if you want to say Betts. But yeah, I mean, UConn's going to be fun to watch this year. And
They're
they
gonna be
brought
so
in
fun.
Sarah Williams from Wisconsin
Mhm.
and brought
And
in
then the freshmen are
Heckle. What's
supposed to be
her?
good.
I forget Heckle's name.
Heckle. Uh-huh.
from USC. I mean, yeah, they've got Blanca has been turning
She's
heads in
supposed to
the
be really good.
preseason. So, yeah, can't wait. I like UConn basketball. It's not this physical, overly physical game. It's the pretty game, and I'm ready to have a few months of really pretty basketball with beautiful passing and where it's encouraged. And yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
excited.
hopefully no injuries this year, knock on wood.
Yeah, that's right. So go Huskies, go Hoosiers, and we will still be talking about the WNBA, but kind of starting to shift to women's college hoops. All right, well, I think that's it for the W Hoops podcast today. Everyone, please be sure to subscribe and leave a comment or a review, and we'll see you next week.